My female 36, husband, male 38, and I both work full-time and have a 2-year-old little girl. Our hours are both long. Mother-in-law's old and my own parents live in another country, so we have temporary live-in hired help to take care of our little girl. Daycares are closed where we are. We follow strict virus rules and keep a very small social bubble. While not well off, we are comfortable. Hugs has a younger sister, female 36, who hasn't worked for years. No physical or other disabilities. She explained to me before that she loves freedom too much to waste away in an office, whereas her brother and I slave away in an office. But I digress. Mother-in-law and Hugs support her financially, and she also has a property to rent out. Recently, Hugs and our little girl were both granted an equal inheritance from mother-in-law's sister. She disliked sister-in-law and left her with nothing. Sister-in-law complained that it wasn't fair and asked Hugs to give her 2/3 in value of what he and my little girl got. With some weirdo logic on how a little girl didn't need anything, and how Hugs and I are together better off than she is, given we can afford the luxury of expensive hired help. Also, as sister-in-law is on the rocks with her boyfriend, she also has to shell out extra money for renting a place to live. Hugs agreed, before telling me. I found myself flipping my crap and telling him that he can spoil sister-in-law rotten, but he has no business giving away my little girl's stuff. So, this is where I might be the a-hole. Hugs cried after I raged. He said he didn't want to be greedy and that our little girl obviously won't need college funds for a long time, so we'd be able to save up enough for her if we both continue working full-time. Then I got even more pissed. Big mistake. Asked him why a parasite matters more to him than his own baby girl. He cried even more, and just went for a walk to calm down, and now I feel like the worst wife in the world. I'd never made him cry before. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Why is your husband financially supporting his sister, who has no reason not to work other than not wanting to? I would have lost my crap too. Why should you have to bust your butt to save up for a college fund, just so his sister can throw a tanty for money that she's not entitled to? Not the a-hole. So he can do what he wants with his part of the inheritance, assuming that you both keep separate finances or have agreed previously that it was his money in some way. But he should never have touched your daughter's portion without consulting you. Parenting is a two-player game, not one, and he now needs to find a way to either take it back or replace the value. Not the a-hole. Has he already given her the money? Because he should think very hard about it. He has no business giving away your daughter's money. That is theft in my eyes. He can give her 100% of his, and even then I would be like, this is going directly against the last wishes of mother-in-law's sister. He hasn't yet. His aunt only recently passed and things are still being sorted out. She didn't like sister-in-law, cause sister-in-law had kept on badgering her with some MLM stuff, so I guess that's why she chose to give our daughter the remaining bit of her inheritance instead. I didn't bring up the fact that auntie deliberately left nothing to sister-in-law, and it'd be against her wishes to give her stuff though, cause he was already plenty upset. But now, I'm not sure if calmly reasoning from this perspective would have been better. Update. Hugs and I have reconciled. Basically, he told me that since sister-in-law's boyfriend will likely go back to his wife now, he's worried she'll not find someone to take care of her since she's on the wrong side of 35, so wants to make sure she would have enough to live on when he and mother-in-law are gone. He apologized for the inheritance sharing thing. He says that he knew auntie didn't want anything to go to sister-in-law, and he tried not to think of that. But our fight made him reevaluate his responsibilities to family, including auntie, so he'll have a talk with sister-in-law to let her know his decision. We still have problems to work out, but we'll take those forward by being more open with each other about our feelings. Thanks all for the comments and advice. Haha. In early 2019, I got tattoos of my kids' names and dates of birth and an easily hidden location with a fairly minimalist design. Nothing offensive or dumb, just names, dates, and some lines. Mom said throughout my childhood that she didn't like tattoos, but she said the same thing about piercings, and she still took me to get my ears pierced at 16. She wasn't happy about it, but she did it. I didn't think it'd be a big deal that I got a tattoo, and I didn't even tell her because I thought it was such a non-event. We went on a family holiday in mid-2019 and went swimming and she saw it. Cue a full-on screaming session like I was a little kid and not a 24-year-old woman, during which she said I was dead to her. I spent the rest of the holiday trying to speak to her, and she ignored me like I wasn't even there. Holiday ended, we all went home, and I began trying to contact Mom through technology, only for her to systematically block me on everything, but not before a final message saying I broke her heart and calling me selfish and impulsive. Despite her overreaction, I do miss her. We were close, and my kids love her, and I would like to mend bridges if she can get over her body mod aversion. My fiancé proposed in early 2019, before losing contact with Mom. We were going to get married in late 2020, but then we had to postpone indefinitely for obvious reasons. We've had a baby since then, who has been added to the tattoo, and fiance and I decided to just say duck it and get married ASAP, because it's dumb that we've been pushing back this wedding for so long that we've created life before tying the knot. We've made arrangements for early February 2022, and it's less than a dozen people and drinks at our place after. Guest list is our siblings, some friends, my ex-stepmom, and that's it. One of my siblings told Mum, and she has unblocked me to request an invite. I don't know what to do. I want to make up with her, but there's not really time to make up pre-wedding, as we live in different countries, so she would be coming here solely for the wedding, and I don't know if the wedding should be the first time I see her again. And considering that I've not only added to the first tattoo, but got a few more, I don't know how she'll react. There's also the fact that my ex-stepmom is coming, though I don't know if that'll be a problem given the divorce. While I clearly have plenty of reasons not to invite her, I do still miss her and want to reconnect. And I worry that if I don't invite her to the wedding, that might be the final straw for our relationship. How do I respond with my mother's request? Ask her if she regrets blocking you for getting a tattoo, and whether she still thinks you're selfish and impulsive. If she doesn't own up to her crappy behavior, I wouldn't invite her. If she kicks up a fuss, just say that you don't have a space for someone who cuts off contact over a tattoo. How can you trust her to behave at the wedding if she doesn't apologize for what she did? She seemed pretty content to cut you off for a minor thing. She said in the message asking for an invite that she regretted the past unpleasantness and would like to move past it. But that was all she said. I would like a little more of an apology, but I don't think I'll get it, to be honest. I never thought she'd cut me off over something like that, and she doesn't want to explain, so I don't know what happened there. I, 56 female, met Jeff, 58 male. My now husband, around 30 years ago. We both had sons from previous relationships. Julio, 32 male, Jeff's son, and Roger, 31 male, my son. We also have a daughter, 27 female. We've always been a regular blended family. My husband treated all our kids equally, so did I. Roger calls Jeff dad, and Julio calls me mom. As the boys met when they were really young, they always got along well, and they even didn't see each other as stepbrothers, but brothers. This all changed about 10 years ago. The thing is that Roger had a girlfriend who cheated on him with Julio. They had a huge argument. Roger ended up moving in with his biological dad and basically disowned Julio. He never talked to Julio again. When Roger came to visit, he made sure Julio wasn't there, no matter how hard Julio and his girlfriend tried to apologize. My son never accepted the apologies. Julio ended up marrying her 5 years ago, and they have a daughter. To show Julio that there are consequences of his actions, so we, my husband and I, banned his wife from our house. Julio understood. A year ago my son came out and introduced us to his fiancée. We welcomed him and let him know that we love him to the stars and back. He is going to get married in a couple of weeks, but he hasn't invited Julio. Julio was sad when he found out that his brother was getting married and didn't invite him. Julio invited Roger to his wedding. I think that since he was actually gay all this time and never really liked the girl, it wasn't a big deal. And also because it happened 10 years ago, he should get over it and enjoy the family and niece he has. We met at a cafe 3 days ago to talk about the wedding. Thus, I asked him if he changed his mind about inviting his brother. He said no, so I told him to get over himself since that happened 10 years ago, and he's only missing a loving brother and a niece. He told me it wasn't my business to say who he could invite or not. He also said that I can attend, but I will no longer walk him down. And he asked his dad and my husband instead. Which makes me furious since this is my child and my right to walk him down on his special day. My husband accepted. An a-hole move if you ask me, and said I was the a-hole for forcing things. But I'm not. I just want my son to forgive his brother and welcome this new chapter of his life with positive vibes instead of resentment. He didn't even like the girl, so it's not a big deal. Now everyone calls me the a-hole, even my daughter. So, Reddit, am I really the a-hole, or are they just overreacting? Yes, the a-hole. That Roger is gay, edit, should have said non-straight because he may not be gay, has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Julio knowingly stabbed him in the back by ducking his then-partner. Roger will never get over being betrayed by someone he thought he could trust. By pushing it, you are also betraying him. He's an adult who has made his choice, and you are refusing to respect that. If you don't drop the subject entirely and permanently, Roger will cut you out of his life just like he has Julio. Yes, the a-hole. Don't use Roger's sexuality as justification for Julio betraying him. That's not fair. I'm sure it's not even about the girl. It's the fact that his own loving brother did that to him. Not so loving, really. I mean, honestly, you have your whole family telling you that you're an a-hole, and you won't even listen to them. The people that know you and Roger better than anyone. You want things your way and expect everyone to change around you to accommodate it. Yes, the a-hole. It doesn't matter that Julio invited Roger to the wedding years ago. In fact, that was a huge slap in the face for him, I'm sure. You need to mind your business. You don't get to decide how he responds to a huge betrayal. Julio is the one that caused permanent damage to your family. Also, the whole, well, he's gay now so it doesn't even matter line of thought needs to be tied to a rock and thrown in the ocean. Haha. I was adopted into the Smith family when I was a few months old. I'm the youngest, 22 female, and have 5 older siblings. The 3 oldest, Beth, 31 female, James, 40 female, and Carl, 44 male, are my parents' biological children. My closest sibling, Tucker, 24 male, was adopted a year before me. Beth has some behavioral problems. She will get moody, has times when she cries over any perceived slight. She loves kids, and when they reject her, she will try to make it right, almost obsessively. Her children are the sole focus of her life, and she considers Tucker and myself to be part of her tribe. Our parents had to tell her to stop trying to help parent. Beth would want to do things like help us brush our teeth when we were 11, when we already knew how and had no cavities. She would try to dress us into high school. While I love Beth as a sister, I am annoyed by her treatment and spent very little time with her from the age of 14 to 20. She got better when she had her latest kid, now 2, but she's back to treating us like children now that the baby stage is done. Last year, Tucker found his biological parents. They told him they didn't want anything to do with him. He was gutted. I still wanted to look for my biological family. I did the research and found an aunt. I contacted her and she was interested in getting to know me. It was a positive interaction. She friended me on Facebook and I talked to some cousins. Then, one day, I got online and she is gone. I have a message from another cousin saying, "Wow, that was uncalled for." I couldn't figure out what was being said, so I asked. They told me to talk to my sister, since she was so godly. Then they all blocked me. I found out that Beth contacted my aunt and cousins, asking why my birth mother was not speaking to me. I had no issue with how the timeline was going. I was happy to have some bio family to talk to. Beth sent some long, insane ramble, and whatever it said scared my birth family off. Now they don't want to speak with me. I cut Beth off right then. I don't care if she meant well or if she has mental issues. She was not someone I ever want to help me with situations. I've told Beth that she ruined this for me. I've not spoken to her in 5 months now. She came to Christmas. I refused her present and did not get her anything. I've not spoken to her family at all. I'm so mad I could spit. She tried to reason that Tucker was hurt, so she wanted to help. I told her this was the last line she crossed, and it was my right to be upset and handle my birth family on my own. I let her know that there was nothing she could say to make this okay. She has invited me to visit my nieces, but I've declined. James, Carl, and Tucker are on my side, and told her that she has destroyed something good for me. This is just one of many things she has ruined, trying to make me like her. I'm ready to cut her out completely, and her family, because I am so hurt. I don't see her ever making this up to me. I'm not sure where I can go from here. Our parents are not the kind to make us get along if we don't want to. They're fine doing separate holidays, or even timing it so no one is around the other. They have let Beth know that she has crossed a line. They have not cut her off. They still see their grandkids, but they have absolutely refused to get in the middle. I know Beth is upset because her husband contacted me asking me to talk it out with her. I told him no. She deserved to be upset. She took something from me, and she needed mental health. But I'm done. I'm not having her ruin another big thing for me because she thinks of me as a child. I'm just lost. I've not seen my nieces except when my parents babysit, and I'm sad about that, but I refuse to engage with their mother at all. I don't think I can ever forgive this. So where do I go from here? Sister is nuts. Keep her cut off. Either you or the adoptive parents can reach out to your biological family and explain that Beth is a nut job, and you'd like to stay in contact. You're doing perfect. This is what setting healthy boundaries feels like. It hurts, but you know you're in the right here. Stick to your guns, and it will get easier.